Dr. BrieAnn. I think you guys both know me. So, anyway, I'm going to be talking about the newest weight loss shake. Actually, I don't really have a weight loss shake for you. Sorry to disappoint. But.
Oh, gee, and I was looking for a root beer shake.
Oh, yeah, a root beer shake? Okay. Alright, so obesity is obviously a big deal in our society. It's a rising concern. And I found this stat today when I was just putting together some extra information. I like to have little stats to get you, interested in if the entire morbidly obese population of the U.S. and morbidly obese means that your BMI, your body mass index, is over 40. So they have that scale of how tall you are versus how much you weigh. And if it's over 40, then you're considered morbidly obese. So if the entire morbidly obese population of the U.S. lived in one state, it would be the 12th highest populated state, with more people than the state of Virginia, which is crazy, and obviously more than the state of Iowa. We're not in the top 12 of populated states, I'm sure. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure about that. So that's crazy if you think about it. And approximately 30% of Americans are overweight. So that's just overweight, not even obese, but overweight. And those are the kind of people that are looking for the newest, hottest weight loss shake, whatever, what potion, what thing can I do to just, go from 300 pounds to 150 or whatever. They're all looking for that quick fix kind of thing. So another crazy fact, generations being born now, so the kids that are being born now have a lifespan 5 years less than their parents. So that's the first time ever that the lifespan of children is less than their projected lifespan is less than their parents. So that's pretty crazy too, and a lot of that is because of all these, diseases and everything which stem from overweight and obesity and our lifestyles that we're leading. It's crazy. And even safety seat manufacturers started making larger models because 250,000 kids under the age of 6 were too fat to fit in their safety seats. So it doesn't start with, these people don't just get fat when they're 40 or something like that. I mean, some of them maybe, but a lot of kids, these days especially, are, under the age of 6 are too fat to fit in their car seats. That's crazy. So, I mean, like I said, you've probably seen these things on TV, or know somebody who's, you should start doing this thing, or overheard a conversation of someone who's lost weight doing something that, they started taking a potion or a pill or whatever the latest thing is and started losing weight. I mean, I don't know how many weight loss things have been pulled off the market because they've found out that they're unsafe down the road. But we're not going to talk about the ones that are already pulled off the market. But what's the deal with all the quick fix diets? So, I'm going to talk about, a couple of them up here, and then I'm going to talk about the 80-20 principle, which is kind of more the things we talk about in this office and how to live a lifestyle that, you can maintain a healthy weight or lose weight if you want to lose weight. Whatever your goals are, we're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about Body by Vi or V or however you say it, Wonder Slim, MetaFast, HCG diet, and Slim Fast, I think, too, is what we're going to talk about. So those are just some that are popular. I'm sure you've heard of at least one or two of those, because I know people that I run into are like, oh, I'm doing this now, and you should really start, selling it in your office or whatever, and we're not going to start selling any of that stuff in our office. So it works for these people, obviously, but if you get to the bottom of a lot of why these people who sell it, it's because they make money off of it. They don't sell it because, they think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, they might have lost weight on it, but a lot of times it just makes you wonder if your neighbor who, or whoever who's not had science, education background, nutrition background, any of that, can sell it and can, tell you why it's the best thing for you. It makes you just question. I think you should question why, what's the education that they have that makes them, a good reference or a good person to say, hey, I probably should start taking that, whatever it is. So, first we're going to talk about Body by V shakes. It's Visalis is the name of the corporation that sells it. They have all different offshoots of it, I think, but Anyway, so it's a weight loss shake or meal replacement. It's huge right now. Even if you go to like any trade shows or anything like that, there's always a booth there of people selling this kind of stuff. And you know, it's the newest thing. And so what I'm going to talk about mostly are about the ingredients, because when you're going to put something in your body, you want to know what's in it. Even if you're just going to the grocery store to buy your groceries, you should always look and see, you know, just because the box says it's natural or whatever, you need to look and see, you know, because if it's full of crap, that's what you're going to be putting in your body. So even when it comes down to this stuff, a lot of times the people I've talked to, you know, are so educated on this stuff are like, well, it's soy. First of all, body by eye, that's the main ingredient in it is soy. Soy is not really good for you. There's tons of research out there saying how bad it is for you. And obviously at one point someone must have said it was good for you, because people started drinking soy milk and, you know, doing lots of things with soy, but the more they research it, down the road it's not good for you. So 91% of the US soy is genetically modified. So genetically modified foods, that's kind of been a hot topic recently too. I don't know, I know some of the news articles we get and we read around here, you know, they talk about, they've shown like these rats who they put on genetically modified diets, and like you can see the tumors growing out of them and stuff. And I think Dr. Hassel is actually going to talk about genetically modified foods in his next talk here coming up. So that'll be a good one to listen to or hear if you're around. But genetically modified foods are not good for us. I mean, obviously if it wasn't made by the earth, like why do we need to genetically modify these things? So if they're resistant to bugs or to whatever, what are they doing inside of us? So also, soy contains phytic acid, which can block the absorption of certain minerals. And soy contains isoflavones, which can affect and inhibit thyroid peroxidase, which is necessary for the production of T3 and T4. So even if you, like, some of these things they even say, if you have any thyroid issues, you shouldn't take this, because T3 and T4, those are the thyroid hormones, and thyroid issues are kind of seem like they're on the rise too nowadays. It seems like there's a lot of patients that we have, or, you know, people that are on thyroxine or whatever the hormone to replace those thyroid hormones is. And so, I mean, again, soy consumption not good for you. It can negatively affect estrogen levels within your body. So that's not just in females, it can affect estrogen levels in males too. So there can be, you know, just throwing all kinds of sex hormones out of whack, basically. So consumption's been linked to breast cancer, brain damage, infant abnormalities, thyroid disorders, kidney stones, immune system impairment, impaired fertility, and severe food allergies. Now, the impaired fertility one kind of, because I know someone who they're taking this body by eye or whatever, and they have their kids on it too, because their kids are obese or they're overweight. So they've got their kids on it. Impaired fertility, I mean, maybe they don't want to have any more kids, but, you know, your kids are just, you know, they're like 12 years old. They probably someday down the road would want to have kids. I don't know, but, you know, that one's just crazy. So dangerous to those who are pregnant and nursing, and it can have negative side effects on brain development. It can lead to behavioral and cerebral abnormalities. So it's just, soy is not at all it's cracked up to be, basically. So sunflower oil is another ingredient in Body by Vi. And sunflower oil, it might sound like it's good for you because it's not just, you know, corn oil or whatever, it's sunflower oil, but it's an omega-6 fat, which omega-3s and omega-6s are the fats that, you know, we want to have omega-3s more so than we do omega-6s. Omega-6s, we all get plenty of. In the American diet, everyone gets plenty of omega-6s. The omega-3s are where we don't get enough of. That's the fish oil and, you know, good stuff, good fat, like from salmon or even just taking your fish oil is an omega-3. And Dr. Hassel talked all about omegas in one of his talks previously too. Sucralose is also in these shakes, and so they have low sugar content, but sucralose is an artificial sweetener. So an artificial sweetener where they replace the OH on the atom of sugar, a sucrose, with chloride. So they're just changing the molecule around, and now, you know, there's no sugar in it necessarily, but we have an artificial sweetener, and there's tons of side effects to artificial sweeteners too. So, again, what are we putting in our bodies? Okay, so it has a high fiber content, which is a good thing, and the reason it has a high fiber content is because they want you to feel full. So and feeling full is, you know, a part of all of these diets, because they don't, you know, they want you to decrease the amount of food you're taking in. So if you feel full, you won't want to eat, you won't want to snack, whatever. So but feeling full has a drop in blood sugar because then you don't eat, you know, so you don't eat for a certain period of time, so it drops your blood sugar, which prevents your body from using fat for energy. So instead of using that fat, it's now storing it, because it says, hey, you know, you're going on this thing where you eat 90 calories for breakfast in this little shake, and then you go hours before you eat the next thing. And so we got this drop, and then we have the metabolism is getting all crazy. So it causes your body to revert using muscle for energy, which actually slows down your metabolism. And the muscle loss in turn causes your body to store fat in the long term. So even if these people start to lose weight, what kind of weight are they losing? Are they losing fat, or are they actually losing muscle? So, and muscle actually weighs more than fat. So, you know, they might be like, yeah, I'm losing all kinds of weight, but I don't know, they always say, do you want to be like a softer version of yourself down the road? You know, you might be skinnier, but you're softer. So, and like I said, it's low calorie, it's 90 calories per serving. A lot of them, they tell you to mix it with milk or something like that, so it increases the caloric intake, but it's still, you know, you're supposed to replace, I think, if you're on like this for, like, because you really want to lose a lot of weight, you replace 2 meals a day with these shakes, and then you eat 1 meal. You can eat like real food or whatever, you're supposed to eat lean and green, I think. So, and what I am always concerned about on all of these diets are what's the exit strategy. So are you just taking this thing for the rest of your life? Are you going to be on these shakes forever? Like, because they cost a lot of money too, not only, but what is it doing to your health, but also, you know, it's costing money to do this too. And for this, there's like maintenance packages you can purchase, so you can like buy less shakes now. So instead of, once you've done it, I think they start with a 90-day challenge. A lot of them start with, you know, a certain number of day challenge. Then after that 90 days, you can decide if you want to take, you know, only 1 shake a day instead of the 2 you were taking or whatever. And you go down, you can cut it down, and then you buy the maintenance package. And I heard from someone else, they told me that they aren't hungry all the time. So even though they started taking less of these shakes, they just don't feel as hungry anymore. So that kind of goes back to what we were talking about when we talked about what are they burning, what are they doing to their metabolism, what's being burned, what's, you know, what, are we storing fat, are we making muscle, you know, what's going on, basically. There's kind of the label that I went off of. It's pretty hard to see, but basically it also has like a bunch of vitamins and minerals, which are good, but also you want to know like where are these vitamins and minerals coming from. You know, because even when you go to buy your vitamins at the store, is it a good vitamin, or am I buying a vitamin that I'm just, you know, turning around and wasting out, you know? So that's another concern. Okay, MetaFast is the next one we're going to talk about. MetaFast is one of those things where you order these meals and then they come and they're already prepared or whatever. So you've got 5 pre-made meals and then 1 real meal a day. So 5 and 1 is their plan. And the 1 meal you're eating is supposed to be lean protein and greens, lots of greens. That's the one you get to choose on yourself. And they do have shakes. They have everything from shakes to bars to cookies to, you know, and I'm sure the ingredients in all those things are not awesome either from the Earth Bowl stuff, because you can order it and they send it to you in a box. That's probably usually not the best idea anyway. But MetaFast, I talked to someone who was on this and she said, I'm not supposed to exercise. So to me that was like red flag, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's this new deal, I'm going to lose weight and I'm not exercising. So I don't know. I don't understand the thought process there, I guess, but it's also very low calorie, 800 to 1,000 calories a day. your body requires 1,200 calories just to sit around. If I just sat here all day, you need calories just to breathe and move, and even though I'm not exercising or anything like that, you still need calories because that's how your body functions. And the exit strategy for this, you can choose to continue with a maintenance program or just get off it and eat healthy because you've been eating this one meal a day that's real. So they think that once you've eaten this one meal a day, you're going to learn how to shop at the grocery store and eat better, I guess. So, HCG diet.
Without the exercise.
Yeah, well, I think they say down the road you can increase it, but definitely at the beginning, you're not supposed to exercise. So, yeah, I don't understand that at all. I don't get it. So, the HCG diet is the next one we're going to talk about, and I'm sure you've heard about this one. I don't know. I know chiropractors who have it in their office and sell these, like, they're drops that you put in your mouth and whatever. But the HCG is human chorionic gonadotropin. I should have wrote that there so I wouldn't have to struggle so much. But it's a hormone found in pregnant females, and it helps maintain a pregnancy. And basically what it does is it kind of changes the metabolism within the body because it's directing a lot of the nutrients towards the placenta. So that's why they say that people who are in third world countries who don't have a lot to eat, they can get pregnant and still maintain a pregnancy. Still have a fetus that's viable and well maintained because of this hormone, because it kind of changes how everything's working in the body, and it kind of changes where the nutrients are going so that fetus can live. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to do. And it signals the hypothalamus to metabolize fat cells. So that's what it does, and those fat cells then help to, grow the baby. I should not do this because I'm not pregnant. And also sometimes it's given to help with fertility issues. So they might know about it next door here at Iowa Health or Fertility or whatever it's called over here. They probably do some of this kind of HCG stuff for fertility, not for weight loss. But the biggest thing about this diet is it's very, very low calorie. Only 500 to 800 calories a day. Well, of course these people are losing weight. If you only ate 500 calories a day, you could do whatever you wanted. You're still going to lose weight. 500 calories, that's crazy. Especially these people who are really overweight, the ones who are searching for this kind of stuff. And, that's not even enough calories to support normal brain function. So, normal brain function requires more calories than that. So that's another red flag to me too, these crazy low calorie diets too. So the body starts using stored glycogen, and it can even start to use protein, which is muscle, and sometimes it'll result to using fat. But usually it starts to use the stored glycogen and the protein first. So once again, what kind of stuff are we losing here? What kind of weight are we losing? So we're losing protein and glycogen. Glycogen is how your cells function and how they signal and all that kind of stuff. So HCG diet. Okay, side effects. Just a couple. So you can have headaches, mood swings, depression, blood clots, confusion, dizziness. I would guess that even a lot of this is from just eating 500 calories a day. I would have mood swings if I only got 500 calories a day. Yes, for sure. And ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome is another thing that can occur because the symptoms of this include pelvic pain, swelling in the hands and legs, stomach pain, weight gain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and urinating less than normal. So weight gain, that one's kind of funny to me because you're supposedly on this to lose weight. So hopefully you don't get ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome and start to gain it all back. So once you stop this diet, though, you're likely to gain the weight back and possibly even additional weight because, I don't know how you go off what a good exit strategy from eating 500 calories a day and taking these HCG drops. What would be a good exit strategy of that? I'm not sure. Increasing your calories to even 700 calories a day, which still isn't enough to maintain brain function. Once you start increasing calories, you're going to start gaining weight. So I think they hope that you've learned how to control your cravings or something, or how you function, how you get your I don't know, your thought process on food, I don't know. Okay, Slim Fast, obviously this Slim Fast has been out there for a long time, I'm sure you've heard of it at least. So there's meal replacement bars, there's shakes, there's all kinds of stuff, and they want to curb your hunger basically. So do they have an exit strategy? I don't think so, or they probably wouldn't still be making it. But I think there's always people on Slim Fast. So what is in it? So the ingredients, here's the ingredients list off of their website. First of all, fat-free milk. I know Thad talked about dairy and how it's actually inflammatory, and so, you want to watch your intake of dairy anyway. Sugar is the third ingredient, so sugar is also inflammatory, and is a huge reason for a lot of these diseases that we have, is because if you look at the ingredients of almost anything off the shelf, when you go to the store, sugar is usually in it. So sugar is becoming more and more prevalent in us for sure. And so sugar, that's not good, obviously. We got canola oil, milk, protein concentrate, fructose, gum, arabic, I don't even know how to say it, cellulose gel, mono and diglycerides, hydrogenated soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup, potassium phosphate, maltodextrin, soy lectin, cellulose gum, I don't even know what that word is, natural and artificial flavor, sodium bicarbonate, sucralose, and a sulfonate, potassium, which is a non-nutritive sweetener, sodium citrate, and citric acid. So, what does it all mean? Sugar, I just talked about already. It's best if it occurs naturally. So if you're eating an apple, there's sugar in it, obviously, that's okay. We've got canola oil, which is another omega-6 fat, which we talked about already, that we already have plenty of omega-6s. Omega-3s are the ones we need to work on. That's that whole inflammation thing too. Hydrogenated soybean oil, so it's soy first of all, so we talked about soy plenty already. It's a trans fat, so a lot of these labels too, another thing, not even just about this, but trans fats, if they're less than a certain percentage, you can say that you have 0 trans fats in it. So I think if it's like less than 1, or I don't know what their measurement is really for a trans fat, but if it's less than 1, then you can say it's actually 0, even though there's some in there. But hydrogenated soybean oil, or trans fats, what they do, they thicken the blood, so they can even raise your blood pressure, even your cholesterol, all that kind of stuff, because the body's having a hard time breaking it down. So high fructose corn syrup, obviously it's a sweetener, it's sugar, and it's actually, there's more fructose, that's why it's high, than what occurs naturally. So the liver has to work harder to break it down. So, not only are these people, taking this stuff in to lose weight, but what's it doing to their internal organs, to their liver, what kind of damage is there at the cellular level? And, even if they're skinnier, are they going to be actually sicker because of what they've been taking in?
Is high fructose corn syrup, is that I had the envision that was an artificial. Is that natural?
I don't think it's artificial. I think, it's not natural. I think they have to go through some process. Yeah, I think there's genetics in it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think it occurs naturally though.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Yeah, because they add more fructose to it. And I know there's been commercials about how high fructose corn syrup's not really that bad for you or something like that, but it's not good for you. So.
Well, getting back to that, if you can't find it in nature.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Then it's not going to be good for you.
Exactly. Yes, for sure. You hit the nail on the head. Okay. So some other ingredients of concern. Soy lectin was one of the ingredients. Soy, I think we've gone over that enough. Sucralose and asulfonate potassium, they're sweeteners, which sucralose we've already talked about. You replace the OH with the chloride, and they're actually worse for you than regular sugar. They can be neurotoxin, they can do all kinds of damage to your nervous system. Okay, so Wonder Slim, this is another one I found when I was online searching all these awesome diets. You eat 7 meals a day, which is a lot, I think. You basically eat every 2 hours. So you eat one real meal a day. All the rest are their products or their shakes or whatever. And I think they said as long as you're eating, or the more you eat, the more you lose, or something like that was their little theme. I'm not really sure about that. But anyway, their ingredients include corn syrup solids, which is high fructose corn syrup with the liquids removed, so it's like a powder version of high fructose corn syrup, basically. So, yeah, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't look it up. I was like, corn syrup solid. Corn syrup's not good for you, but what's the solid? So, sunflower oil, again, it's omega-6, fatty acids instead of omega-3s, so we want to have more omega-3s. Aspartame, or that's what's in all diet sodas and all that kind of stuff. That's that sweetener. It's an excitotoxin. It slowly destroys neurons. So all of these multiple sclerosis, ALS, all that has been linked to it. Alzheimer's disease, dementia, brain lesions, neuroendocrine disorders have been linked to us, like large consumptions of aspartame. And you know, this doesn't happen because you drank one shake or whatever, but you know, a lot of people are getting aspartame from other things too, and they don't really think about it, like diet sodas, and you know, I guarantee you most people on these diets drink diet soda. So, also soy lectin, it's most likely genetically modified. They don't say if it is or it isn't, and it has many damaging side effects like we talked about already. The total caloric intake of Wondersun is 1,000 to 1,200 calories per day, which is getting closer to what we're supposed to have just to live. So the more meals you replace, the more weight you lose. Here's what their theme is. So I thought that was interesting. And it had no mention of exercise at all. So I don't know if they encourage it or discourage it. It didn't say. And no exit strategy was mentioned either. So I'm not really sure what they're thinking. But so why do all these diets work? You know people who've been on one of these diets or you know whatever, and it's worked for them. They've lost weight. So it contains ingredients that aren't good for you, but why does it work? Well, it works because a lot of people just need a plan. They need someone to tell them, for breakfast you're going to eat this shake, and for lunch you're going to eat this salad, and for a snack you're going to have this apple, or what, you know. But it's not. Instead, it's you're going to eat this bar that is pre-made with all this crap in it already, or the shake that, you know, or this microwave meal that's got crap in it too, you know. Instead, I think a lot of these people just need to talk to a nutrition counselor and say, hey, you know, why don't you try eating this? Because I think if these people like had someone with them at the grocery store and helped them buy their groceries and told them this is what you have to have for lunch, I think it would work. But they don't. So I think that's why these things work. And a lot of them are very low calories, so that's probably why they work too. Because a lot of these people, I mean, if they're like the people that, you know, if they went for a walk, they'd probably lose weight, you know. And skinnier does not necessarily equal healthier either. So what are you taking in? What is it doing to your internal organs? I mean, just because you've lost 100 pounds, are you really that much healthier, or are you just a skinnier, still sick version of yourself, you know? And I think that's what a lot of these people are, because they have bought into this crap and they're eating it and they're consuming it in large quantities, or they're not leaving after the 90-day challenge or whatever. They're still on it for life, and what's the effects down the road? I don't think they've probably done a lot of studies on, you know, what's the deal down the road if you're still taking these HCG drops in 10 years or whatever. I don't think there's research about that. So, like I said, it's cookie cutter plan. That's what these people, that's why it works for them. I just said be wary of plans that are quick fixes, and no exercise really. Like a lot of these, I don't know. To me, that should be a red flag to anyone, not just people who know something about health. But you know, if you're not exercising, you should be losing weight. I don't know. To me, it seems like they should go hand in hand. So it always bothers me when people say, or they talk about, you know, these diet plans or whatever, and they're like, you never have to be on one of those diets, you're so skinny, and I just wanna be like, do you think I just sit around all day and like, eat crap? Because I don't. Like, I exercise too, and I eat, I try to eat healthy, but they don't see it that way. These people want to, continue to live their lifestyles of no exercise, and they don't have time for exercise. Well, we're gonna have to find time. Okay, so the 80-20 principle. If you've been here before and heard Dr. Hassel talk, you probably know about this. Basically, eating a clean, healthy diet 80% of the time, and you can be not as clean the other 20% of the time. So what's a clean diet? Full of real food from the earth. So, like we talked about, if you can find it in nature, it's going to be a lot better for you than something that's been genetically modified or, some other thing. So, lots of fruits and vegetables, non-genetically modified is best. So, organic or things that haven't been sprayed with all kinds of stuff. Antibiotic, hormone-free meats, those are going to be better for you, obviously. Avoid complex carbohydrates, so basically all the breads and donuts and all kinds of stuff like that. Cakes, they're not good for you. Avoid processed foods. So, like we had on our bulletin board over here for a while, it said, how do you shop in the grocery store? The good stuff is on the outside of the grocery store. If you spend most of your time in the middle of the grocery store, you're going to be eating lots of processed crap, basically. And exercise, the 80-20, so like I said, 20% of the time, it's really hard to be 100% on at 100% of the time, but if you can say, these days of the week I'm going to eat really healthy or really strict or whatever, or even meals of the week, whatever you want to do, you break it down how many ever meals you eat a week and figure out what 80% of that is, and then the other 20%, obviously I wouldn't say go straight for the donuts, the other 20% of the time or whatever, but if you gotta live a little too, you gotta have some fun and whatever. Dr. Hassel always said, if you see me out on a Friday night, don't come yell at me, because that's when I get to be on my, I think it is 95.5% or 90-10 or something. So exercise, also a vital part of weight loss. Alternate between resistance and cardio, and we've done a whole program on how to exercise in here too. And exercising, 6 days a week is good. And if you do activities you enjoy, it's going to be better. So obviously people who fail at their exercise programs are signing up to do something they never wanted to do in the first place. If you're not a runner, then don't sign up to run a race, if you're not going to train for it or whatever. Whatever it is, if you don't like yoga, don't say I'm going to sign up for a yoga class. Pick something you like to do, and I highly encourage people to do it with their families, because these little kids who are too fat to fit in their car seats, do you think they're too fat to fit in their car seats because mom and dad are exercising all the time and eating the right food? No, they're learning by example. They're doing whatever their parents are cooking and eating and doing what they do. So the equation of health, we've talked about this a lot here. Eat well, move well, think well, function well. So eating well, we just talked about. Moving well, thinking well, so that's, no stinking thinking. You gotta have a positive outlook on everything, obviously. Function well, that's where we come in, where we get your nervous system function at 100%. If your nervous system can't function at 100%, it doesn't matter if you're eating well, moving well, and thinking well. You gotta have everything. You need all parts of the equation to have optimal health. Guidance. So, if you know someone who's, really overweight or whatever, I think they need some guidance, basically. If they had a health professional, maybe someone in our office, or even a nutritionist or whoever, helping them, making meal plans, stuff like that, I think they could move in the right direction without this quick fix crap that they're putting in their bodies instead, and make a shift now. So, obviously, if you decide you want to really do this, don't do it tomorrow. Do it now. That's all I have. Do you guys have any questions?